First of all, notice the patterns. This is going to be a video about Japanese pitch accent patterns. But before we go on, let's take a look at a key. A dot represents a Japanese syllable, red represents high pitch, green represents low pitch. Red will also be used for emphasis. The symbol shown here marks the location of the downstep caused by an accented syllable. Part 1. Pitch patterns depend on whether there is an accented syllable or not. Here, accented syllables will be marked with the red symbol shown earlier. The symbol, technically called an overbar, is present in many Japanese dictionaries. For example, this, and this. The symbol, the overbar, is particularly helpful because it describes the primary property of an accented syllable, which is that all syllables after an accented syllable will have a low pitch. They must be low. For example, let's imagine that our accented syllable is there. This syllable will clearly be high because accented syllables are high. Okay? This also means that what follows it will be low. Let's take a look at another example. Let's imagine that our accented syllable is there. This means that this syllable will be realized with a high pitch. This also clearly shows that what follows will also be low in pitch. Here is a third example. Let's imagine that our accented syllable is there, and this syllable therefore will be high. What follows will be clearly low in pitch. Once a pitch goes low due to an accented syllable, it never goes high again within the same phrase. You need another phrase for the process to repeat again. Each phrase will have its own particular pitch pattern. A phrase, I remind you, can be one word long or a whole sentence if the sentence is made up of one phrase. Okay? Sentences, complex ones, are usually made up of more than one phrase. Part 2. In the Japanese language, the first syllable of a word or a phrase will have a high pitch only if it is accented. This means, therefore, that the first syllable, if it has no accent, it is low in pitch. Here is an example. Let's imagine that our accent is placed there. So this syllable will be high. Clearly, the first one has no accent. It will be low. Here is another example. Let's place our accent there again. So this syllable will be high. And clearly the first one is not accented, so it will be low. Let's imagine that the accent is placed there. This is the first syllable, so it can be high because it has the accent. Part 3. All syllables before the accented syllable will be realized in a high pitch, except, of course, for the first syllable if it does not have the accent. For instance, if we again place the accent there, this syllable will be high and the first one will be low, and all syllables in between will be high, and since we have an accented syllable, the rest will be low. So there we have a whole pitch pattern for this phrase. Again, let's place our accent there. This means that this syllable will be high, the first one will be low, those in between will be high, and the rest will be low because of the downstep caused by the accent. Another example. Let's place our accent there at the beginning. This means that the first one will be high and the rest will be low. Now, let's take a look at the fourth example where we place our accent there and we have an accented syllable at the end. This means that this syllable will be high, the first one will be low, of course, and all in between will be high. Let's imagine that something will be added after this. Alright, this clearly will be low because of the accented syllable, alright, because of the downstep. Part 4. A word or a phrase that has no accented syllable simply displays no downstep, but the first syllable will still have a low pitch since it has no accent, and the rest will be high. Everything will be high. For instance, here we will have no accented syllable, so the first one will be low and the rest will be high. Now let's imagine that something is added to this phrase without an accent. This will also be high because there is no downstep. Part 5. In real speech, there is no time to analyze Japanese phrases in the way seen here. So what do Japanese people do? Well, Japanese people simply start low and go high to then go low as soon as they encounter the first accented syllable in the word or phrase. Of course, if they encounter an accented syllable, as soon as they start speaking, everything will be low. So let's imagine this Japanese sentence.
昨日までは過ごしやすい涼しい日が続いていましたが、また真夏の暑さが戻ってきました。昨日までは過ごしやすい涼しい日が続いていましたが、また真夏の暑さが戻ってきました。昨日までは過ごしやすい涼しい日が続いていましたが、また真夏の暑さが戻ってきました。